going to talk about the differences in the versions of the translations of the Bible. The epistles, the letters from the apostles, were written in Common Greek. All right. So if you want a exact understanding of the words, right, the locutions, and then get the illocutions, the intent behind the words, then you have to go to the originals. But we speak English today, so there's a graph. All right, I think this is accurate. So on the y-axis, going up and down, is literal. Okay, the a literal translation of the words into English, and the King James scores very high on this literal translation of the words. Okay, then on this x-axis going this way is a clear understandability and readability in English. So all the way on the right side of this x-axis is translations like the New Living Translation. I'm sure you know people that read those, and when you hear that Bible translation, it sounds very understandable because it's very common English. Yet it loses a lot of the literal translation of the original Hebrew and Greek. Okay, the Latin translation did come after the Hebrew and the Greek. The original Old Testament was Hebrew, and like I said, the New Testament was written in Greek, and the Old Testament was actually translated to Greek. It's called the Septuagint in the early before Christ as well. So King James, very high on literal, formal equivalent, but very low on readability. And a lot of people go to the King James first when they get a Bible, and that's a lot of cases that's the reason why people stop reading the Bible, is because they don't understand it, and it is difficult, right? Thou art, and so that's why it's very unreadable, but it's a good translation of the original text. The NIV, however, the one I read from, scores very high on both the literal translation and the readability. So it's around up here in this scale or graph. It's around here. Okay, so it's the highest. It's the best middle ground that scores high in both literal translation as well as readability in today's common English. So I recommend the NIV, and that's why I read it